business litigation is a lawsuit has been filed, and the plaintiff is seeking relief based on some type of business transaction, whether or not it's explicit or whether or not it's implied, but there's some business relationship between the plaintiff and the defendant, and the plaintiff has filed suit. And so our firm handles both representations of plaintiffs in business-related aspects, and also too if one of our clients is been named as a defendant, we also handle that in litigation, and that can ultimately mean going to trial, whether or not that's a jury trial or a non-jury trial, which would be a trial in front of a judge where the judge would make the decision and be the fact finder as well as the finder of law. In a jury situation, the jury is the fact finder, and then the judge determines what law applies. And then also too, sometimes it goes even farther than that, and if a litigant is on the losing end, then sometimes that litigant will appeal and will be called the appellant, and we represent appellants in business matters. And if you win and the other side appeals, then the side that's responding to that appeal is called the appellee, and we represent those as well. So everything from the filing of suit all the way to the appellate courts, anything involving suits that are filed in court, that's strictly speaking is business litigation. Now, one kind of gray area comes into play with businesses a lot is arbitration, and a lot of contracts will have an arbitration clause, and they will have a term that both parties agree to, whether knowingly or not, depends on whether or not they have an attorney looking it over most of the time, but they will have arbitration agreements in lieu of court. So before you even step foot into court, you have to arbitrate, and it can be binding or non-binding, and most of the terms in business contracts are binding arbitration. So the arbitrator acts as the judge and the jury, and the decision is final. And there are some kind of esoteric or unusual instances where you can go to court after the arbitration is done, and if you're the losing party, you can still file in court. Even in binding arbitration, if you allege that there has been some kind of error or misconduct on behalf of the arbitrator or the arbitration proceedings, then that sometimes is considered to be litigation as well. But strictly speaking, litigation is usually talked about when a party has filed suit in either state or federal court, and there are the basis of the lawsuit is a business transaction or business relationship between the plaintiff and the defendant or defendants.